Hey guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to an episode of Casting Conflicts. Today, it's actually going to be me in the battle, I guess, as you can already tell by the title. So I don't want to kind of leave you guys on this one for too long. So let's actually head over to the matchup right now and jump right into it. You ready? I guess they probably muted me.
Alrighty, intro time. Here we go.
All right, I'll mute you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Slasher with Jump 77 here, watching RedMaster versus, what do you say, vesaven?
Vesaven.
Vesaven, there we go.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Hopefully we have a few good matches ahead of us. And looking at the starting hand that Red's got here, he's got a Northland's Wolf and Blacksmith and Spiny as his units. So I'm thinking it's looking like a Beast deck. Not too many other decks run Northland's Wolf.
I think he calls this the Warlock Zoo.
Right.
And already I think we're seeing a key component of it there, Jump. We're seeing Wizard and Bestial Rage, which can be just super deadly if you get it out early game.
Right. I've got a feeling that he might have some Darkbenders in here as well to combo with the Bestial Rage. The ranged unit plus that Rampage combo is just really devastating.
Vesaven's got that 7 gold on turn 4. Do you think he's going to bring out anything big with that, or possibly smaller buffs?
Yeah, we saw this deck before from him in the last Casting Conflicts he participated in, so we know a little bit about his deck. I'm thinking he might end up bringing out a bunch of buffs, but ideally, if you do have such a high treasure count early, you do just want to bring out one big hulking unit. Like if at this point you bring out a swordsman and run it down, there's not much you can do to counter that. So yeah, Vesaven actually did bring out one pretty
Red
big
flashes
unit.
the fear at us.
RedMaster's for sure gonna fear it away. Good call there.
I think Manticore is set up for Bestial Rage next turn.
Yeah. Looks like it.
I don't like it if he pushes it far. He's just going to lose health if there's any big...
Yeah,
any side summoning.
Should have kept it back one square. Now, we do need to remember that it's only turn 5, so it's hard to side summon something that will do 4 damage, but really...
Beastmaster with a Bear Hog.
Yeah. So what are we looking at? We can buff up that Wizard by 2 if you use Bestial Rage and Blacksmith.
I think he's going to Blue Firebolt the Griffin here.
Okay, yeah. That seems to be what he's going to do. And I'd like to see him bring the Beastmaster in front of the Wizard, because that's a safer spot, since it can't be attacked from a side summon, and it's more aggressive, more central, so it could attack if needed.
Yeah.
It would also force Vesaven to put his unit in front of the castle, which means the Wizard can take it out. So a slight positioning opportunity missed there.
Yeah. I don't think he's too terribly worried though right now, simply because if that Beastmaster is played, I think Red will still get more value on the board. But I do believe that he is letting an opportunity that Vesaven might take opportunity of here in the future.
Right. Yeah, well, in RedMaster's mind, he's got to be thinking that with all these companion units in his hand, all he has to do is stay defensive, keep going in and out with that rampaged wizard, and then once he has enough gold to do it, he can finish off in one turn with these companions.
Yeah.
So as long as he stays safe here, he'll do all right. Vesaven's now starting to get out some buffs from his deck, but we'll see if he has any way to deal with this wizard. That's the main component. There's really a clock ticking down right now. Yeah, he's just chipping down for another 4.
He's down to, if he plays Centaur and Spiny this turn and hits with Wolf, he only and plays Blast next turn. If Vesaven doesn't clean up the wizard, it's game over.
Right.
And even if he does, then you still have a Centaur in hand.
Okay, so he's gonna opt to go for the Blacksmith and Centaur, it looks like. That'll be pretty good too. Saves him 2 companion units, which is essentially just the same strategy in a different order. Even if the Blacksmith and Wizard are dealt with at this point, I don't think there's a comeback. Those 2
I could see.
Yeah, he's flashing them, saying next turn I can play both of these, no matter what. Liana would have to be played here, but RedMaster was turn 2 and had the token, so he didn't have enough money for Liana. So that's it. A good early draw was very helpful for RedMaster, and he takes game 1.
Yeah, beautiful play by him.
Yeah.
So, Red, how are you feeling after that?
All right. I mean, I got the job done with the companions, which I think I needed to do. I mean, once I noticed that he was playing a bit more defensive, I had to be on the aggressive side. I tried to push him with the wizard, get some chip damage in, and finish off the companions.
I think those early fears really set up the tone of the game for you.
Oh yeah, immensely. I mean, once that early Griffin came down, I had to push it back to buy myself time.
Yeah, that was very crucial. Now, Vesaven, what did you have in your hand during that game?
Right, I had the early plays with the Lumberjack and the Elvish Thief, and then I also had the Griffin. So when I drew the Southport, I know that I wanted to go ahead and get the Griffin down on turn 4, and he had already feared my Southport, so I wanted to play aggressive and push the Windfall Griffin up as far as possible. And I, was offering him my Southport and hoping that since he'd already played that first fear, that he didn't have the second one, and that was, I think the play that really kind of turned the game, other than, of course, the Bestial Rage, which, that sealed up the game. The second fear turned the game in his favor. The Bestial Rage just put it away for him.
Right. Yeah,
and there's no way to clean that up. It's just a win over time.
Yeah, and then I tried to push out Beastmaster as well to see if you were holding an execution in there, maybe to try and bait you out between maybe hitting the wizard or the Beastmaster. Because I had a lot of beasts at the board at that time. I had Manicore, Wolf, and Bearhog, I believe. So, but once I figured I didn't have the removal, I figured I should start pushing and being aggressive.
Yeah, and the Manicore, was a very strong play also, and I just didn't have answers to what you're doing. So you mopped up that one pretty assuredly.
I mean, but now we run into game 2, right? I got to run the same thing.
Yeah, and now you'll be able to decide which deck you want to use so that you have answers for those scenarios. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you'll bring.
Of course, I'm always ready for the next game.
All right,
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna change it up then. I'll be ready for the next one.
Sounds good.
Man, I should have asked him if bananas are sticky.
I wish I had muted before that. Alright, I'll see you boys after the next game.
Alright, good luck.
Alrighty. For those of you who do not know the sticky joke, Banana 2244 versus Asteroid, Red and I disagreed of whether or not bananas can be sticky. And he says they can't. I say they can.
It's a very controversial topic that we all come in for. So let's take a look at the game. And we'll come back to sticky bananas in a moment. But it looks like vesaven has decided to go with Warlock Crusaders deck, and he's brought out a Knight. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Knight's deck or if it's just a good 2-drop. We'll have to see.
It could also be the Lord Siberty way of playing Last Will, where Lord Siberty runs 9 2 gold units decks. He runs 3 priests, 3 dwarves, and 3 knights. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Lord Siberty used to be the number 1. Well, he was number 1 for a bit, but number 2 player after Ed Tyker, playing only yellow-red Last Will. Probably the biggest proponent for pushing it to the forefront of the game.
Yeah, he's very consistent with that deck. Alright, so...
What do you think about the blacksmith?
Yeah, so the blacksmith is actually in a good position here. It seems aggressive for a blacksmith, seeing as many people play them defensively. But really, with no units on the board for RedMaster, it's in a safe spot, and he can always bring it into a more defensive spot later on if he needs to. But
it is a knight's deck.
You might as well put the pressure while you can. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a very big proponent for pushing with blacksmith, because the number of times I've seen someone lose on the TV because they could have blocked castle with blacksmith when it was back in the bottom corner here or the top corner up here is just a massive.
Yeah. Now, Furnace Knight got a slight change. He only deals 2 now for his aura. But I'm wondering a little bit about why vesaven kept his blacksmith right in front of the castle. If RedMaster had another fear there, it would deal 2 to the castle and 2 to the blacksmith, which could be prevented.
I think he's in many ways paranoid about having that wizard rampage set up again.
Right, and that's... Well, he's back to putting the...
And here we see a fat dragon's fire.
Yeah, it's huge. Takes out everything because the extra health from the fat bar disappears. Very good way to clear the board. Now, it's still looking a bit grim for Red, but he's got a big card advantage if he can survive through this next little attack.
Oh, he does.
What a lucky
he
spawn.
He top decks that. That's 2 damage to castle all after, and just a little kudos to him.
And a little pushback prevents any further castle damage. But I'm gonna question his positioning with the Wraith. It might have been better to place it right in the middle row to have a bit more of an aggressive focus.
I think I know why he didn't, because if that Wraith was 2 forward, the Knight could, or forward, even further forward, then if there was a swordsman, it could have hit Mordok if it was in that middle square of the board. And if it were 2 forward from where it was positioned to hit the Knight, then the Knight would not be feared back that second time to do Inferno to castle.
It's true. The swordsman is a good thought, and a good play there, taking out the armory as soon as possible.
I would have prioritized playing my own armory and then Flower Knight.
Right. the Flower Knight is going to gain extra attack and life here, so it's good to take that one out early too.
And Vesaven's, excuse me, I can't say his name.
Yeah, Vesaven is out of cards, I think is what you're about to say.
Yeah, Vesaven's all out of cards, which is a really scary position to be in.
Yeah,
and he now has 4 Northlands Wolves out on the board, RedMaster does.
Yeah, and they're just going to get to buffing each other. Oh, curious that he took out the Flower Knight there instead of attacking the castle.
Yeah, because it doesn't do anything. If he had top decked the Luminaris there, it still would have cleared the entire board there for the 7.
On your own turn, if you attack the castle, then it forces the opponent to use his turn to clear the board. But wow, these wolves are getting bigger and bigger. Now, you could have played the Windfall Griffin before trading his first wolf there to gain a 1/1 buff.
I think he's expecting the Centaur play to close it out.
He is instead opting to play more global buffs. And this game has swung quite heavily into RedMaster's favor, with vesaven still just relying on the top decks for the next few turns.
Yeah, what a good game by him.
Yeah,
I personally think that a traditional red-yellow Last Will deck would have probably countered Warlock School a bit better, simply because you have all that control power that if there's any Beastmasters or any range units that are thrown out, you can take care of them. Additionally, you have so much more draw.
Yeah,
but a good match on both parts.
Yeah, well played. There was a real threat early, but RedMaster was able to overcome that and won it out in the late game. So let's go back to the players and see what they thought about that game.
Yeah, GG to both of them.
Good game.
Holy crap, the Furnace Knight scared me.
Yeah.
I think I have to chalk up that game to the Dragon's Fire.
Yeah,
I think that was a pretty big turning point.
Yeah, I picked a deck that maybe had a little more of a control element, you know, and because I saw the Wizard and I saw the Beastmaster, you know, and I wanted to pick a deck that had the capability to burn those units off. But with the hand that I drew, I ended up being the aggressor, you know, and I had the turn one, you know, I was going first, so I had the early drops, and I knew, you know, that I had to kind of put my foot on the gas, and then that Dragon's Fire wiped out all my hopes and dreams on that one.
It's a very devastating card for any of us, so I can understand that. I wanted to know the reaction when Pack gets played, because I know a lot of people don't play Pack necessarily because it's a slow card. It's 8 gold for 3 wolves. But I find it pretty useful in here because this is actually a more beast-focused deck, running tools like Griffin, Wolf, Manicore that can all boost each other up if need be.
Yeah, I think it works especially well with your global buffs that you're running in the deck. As with every global buff deck, the more units you play, the more effective those buffs are. Instead of just having one Mordok, for example, for the same cost, and getting a 1/1 buff from the armory, you're instead getting 3 1/1 buffs, or effectively a +3/+3 buff. So it can be very strong, but it doesn't always have the same single unit impact depending on the deck.
Exactly. Yeah.
The scary part in that, though, is if he has Witch Bolt, Dragon's Fire, you just lose all of your wolves for free.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good card. it's a good card for your deck. I think that your deck really has to be built, around having a lot of beasts for that to be included. Otherwise, I think it can come across as weak. But I think that in your deck it fits very well.
Right. And the other downside is that the Beastmaster is a bit of a drawback. If you have a Beastmaster on board, you don't necessarily want to play your 3 Northlands Wolves, and the other way around too. If you have a bunch of wolves on board, you don't necessarily want to play a Beastmaster.
Exactly. He's sort of like my reserve, just in case. Sometimes I pop him out early just to see if maybe they want to throw out the burn. Because Beastmaster can be pretty alarming when you summon things like 2 bears. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I always thought of the pack and Beastmaster both as defensive cards, simply because you have that almost volatility if they have any removal in their hand.
Right.
Well, and for 5 gold, you're guaranteed to get at least 3 attack from the Beastmaster, 2 from, we'll say, a bear hog, and 2 from another bear hog. So a total of 7 damage for 5 gold is quite good on a defensive turn.
For sure.
That's the same way that Rat King can be so strong on a defensive turn. It's 5 damage for 3 gold. Which, again, gets buffed up by global buffs to be... It could be easily 10 damage for 3 gold on a defensive turn.
Yeah, Beastmaster, he's definitely one of those cards that can be, very good, but he has to be played the right way.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Alright, well, the casters have any more questions?
When will we see Dino decks?
We saw
We'd
one,
like that.
actually, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, I played.
I mean, like,
against the
from
Dino
me?
deck.
Yeah.
Oh, down deck from me. That does depend. I'll have to see when I can get my next matchup in. I know I have to do tab eventually. Admin versus admin fight, but
He's gonna
I
lose
assure you,
game 1 with War Party and come back in game 2 with a second War Party.
God damn it.
Yeah, counter the deck you lost to with the same deck.
So I did answer the question though. You'll probably see it eventually from me. Let's see where it goes. All right, but I think now I'm gonna just throw it off to my future. You did a flashy intro, right?
A little bit.
All right. Well, do you want to do a flashy outro?
Well, ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen,
good
from
games,
Slasher.
And
Good
Joe,
games
and thanks for
from all of us
coming
here
by.
at from Casting Chat.
Have a good night and don't get coronavirus.
Wash your hands. All right. That'll be the one. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh,
And I
boy.
assume I assume recordings have ended. I don't know. Alright guys, with that being said, I hope you did enjoy this edition of Casting Conflicts. Some of you guys thought in the comments section below, more down there if you haven't already. Be sure to like if you enjoy, share with friends, and of course subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already. It's the best way you can support the channel after all. And with that being said guys, that's all from me for now, so until next time, stay gaming.